The silence didn't arrive gently. It crashed like a storm in disguise. One day his name was everywhere. The next it vanished from eyes. Screens refreshed, feeds updated. Fans waited for a sign. But Yu Menglong faded quietly, as if erased by time. It started with whispers in corners, soft murmurs in late-night calls. A pause where laughter once lived, a shadow over bright halls. He had been glowing, ascending, his presence sharp and alive. Then suddenly the air shifted, and questions refused to subside. No farewell post, no warning, no carefully written goodbye. Just absence hanging heavy like truth afraid to cry. Interviews stopped mid-sentence. Projects froze in place. And the echo of his footsteps vanished without a trace. Fans searched his silence for meaning, scrolling deep into the past, rewatching old smiles, pretending those moments could last. Every glance, every line, every scene now felt coded and strange, as if destiny had edited him quietly out of the frame. Behind the cameras and contracts, behind polished smiles and control, there lived a world unforgiving, demanding its toll. A world where success is fragile, where brilliance can threaten the throne, where standing too tall can leave you standing alone. They say he knew something early, something never meant to be heard. A truth wrapped in power, too sharp to be stirred. Not a scream, not a scandal, not chaos in flame, but a quiet resistance that refused to play the same game. He didn't shout in rebellion, didn't rage in the light. He simply didn't bend fully, didn't surrender his fight. And in an industry built on obedience and grace, even silence can be dangerous when it won't stay in place. Meetings happened behind curtains, voices lowered and tight. Decisions made in dim rooms far away from the light. Smiles remained in public, but tension grew deep, like a secret buried alive, refusing to sleep. Then came the shift, subtle, strategic, painfully clean. A role quietly removed, a name absent from screens, a schedule delayed, an appearance revised. Language so gentle it disguised the knives. Fans felt it instantly, the unnatural pause, the way things ended without visible cause. Rumors bloomed wildly, theories ran free, but the truth stayed hidden behind locked debris. Some said it was power, others whispered pride. Some blamed the system, some blamed the tide. But those closest knew something colder was real. That silence had been chosen, not as weakness but seal, because speaking would shatter more than just one name. It would fracture a structure built on fear and acclaim. And so he stepped backward into the dark, protecting the whole by dimming his spark. Yet silence isn't empty, it's loud in its own way. It screams in the absence of words left unsaid. Every paused career, every vanished star, leaves ripples that travel much farther than far. Late nights came heavy, alone with the truth, the weight of restraint pressing hard on his youth, knowing one sentence could set chaos aflame, yet choosing restraint over personal gain. Fans mistook quiet for surrender or shame. But silence can be strategy, not fear of blame. Sometimes the bravest thing isn't to fight, but to disappear softly and wait out the night. Behind closed doors, offers were made. Conditions attached, loyalty weighed. Return, they said, but play by the rule. Smile on command, be silent, be cool. And there it was, the moment unspoken, where freedom and future were carefully broken. Choose visibility tied to control, or obscurity that protects your soul. So he chose the road few would dare, path unseen, painfully fair, to step away while the world demanded more, to preserve himself, not become folklore. Meanwhile, fans kept digging, refusing to rest, piecing together fragments, comparing the past to the present tense. Screenshots, old clips, subtle signs, moments once ignored now read between lines. A glance too knowing, a pause too long, lyrics that felt quietly wrong. Suddenly everything made chilling sense. A story hidden in plain pretense. And that's when the truth began to breathe. Not shouted aloud, but allowed to seep. That he wasn't erased for failure or fall, but for standing too steady where others would crawl. Silence wasn't punishment. It was protection in disguise. A wall between him and irreversible lies. Because some truths, once spoken aloud, cannot be buried, cannot be cowed. And now the world slowly circles back, noticing the gap, the missing track, realizing absence can say far more than a headline screaming across the floor. His name resurfaces softly like a tide at night, not crashing in scandal but glowing in light. Fans no longer ask where he went. They ask what strength his silence meant. Because legends aren't always loud or proud. Some are forged quietly, away from the crowd. And not every hero wins by staying seen. Some survive by stepping between. So when you wonder why he vanished so fast, why the present feels haunted by the past, remember this: not all battles are shown. Not all sacrifices are ever known. Yu Menglong wasn't silenced by fear or defeat. He chose restraint when silence was steep. And one day, when the timing aligns, the quiet will break, on his own terms in his own time. Until then, the silence remains heavy and true, a story unfinished, waiting for you. Time passed, but the silence didn't fade. It thickened like smoke in a sealed room. Each unanswered question grew louder, each rumor spelling quiet doom. The world moved fast, replacing faces, chasing the next bright flame. Yet somehow his absence lingered, whispering his name. Contracts expired in shadows, announcements never made, scenes rewritten overnight, his presence gently betrayed. A poster without his image, a cast list missing a star, small erasures piling up, each one leaving a scar. Those who worked beside him avoided the truth with care, eyes darting, voices cautious, pretending not to stare, because even mentioning silence can trigger a fall. In a world where obedience answers every call, late nights found him awake, staring through glass and rain, watching a city that celebrated him forget his name. Not with hatred, not with rage, but confusion deep and slow, as if the world kept spinning, unaware it let something go. He replayed moments endlessly, searching for the turn, the exact second respect transformed into concern. Was it a line spoken softly, a look held too long, or the refusal to pretend when something felt wrong? Because power doesn't always roar, it whispers sweet and low. It smiles while tightening strings you don't even know. It praises your talent, applauds your rise, then reminds you gently where your freedom dies. They didn't demand surrender outright, they never do. They framed it as protection, as something kind to pursue. Stay quiet, they implied, for your own good, for your peace, while slowly carving away at the right to release. And every choice weighed heavy, every road felt thin. Speak and risk destruction, or stay silent and win nothing, because victory loses meaning when bought with your voice. And silence becomes prison disguised as a choice. Fans sensed the tension growing beneath polite delay. Every excuse sounding practiced, rehearsed and gray. Health reasons, personal time, phrases empty and worn, used to bury uncomfortable truths before they're born. Behind the scenes, files were sealed, conversations erased. Digital footprints cleaned with mechanical grace. Stories adjusted, timelines bent. Reality edited to control intent. Yet truth has a habit of slipping through cracks. In screenshots saved, in delayed reacts. A clip resurfaced unexpectedly one night. Comment too honest, a pause too tight. It spread quietly first, from fan to fan. Not viral hysteria, but something unplanned. A realization dawned collectively, slow and stark, that his silence wasn't absence. It was a mark, a warning etched subtly across the scene, about what happens when stars stop playing machines. When they ask questions, when they hesitate, when they refuse to let power dictate their fate. And suddenly, the narrative shifted its skin. From what did he lose to what did he protect within? Because losing fame hurts, but losing yourself cuts deeper. And not all heroes are loud, some are keepers. In private moments, letters were written but never sent. Words poured out freely, then carefully bent. Because paper doesn't judge, and silence doesn't betray. But the world outside listens in dangerous ways. He watched younger talents rise, eager and bright. Eyes full of trust, unaware of the night. And part of him wanted to warn them outright. But wisdom sometimes survives by avoiding the fight. So he stayed quiet, not broken, not gone. Just waiting for timing, for darkness to yawn. Because even the longest night eventually bends. And silence too has an end. The industry pretended he never existed at all. But fans don't forget the ones who fall. They replayed his scenes with reverence and ache. Each performance now feeling like more than a take. His expressions gained weight. His words felt coded. Every character now felt like a message loaded. As if he had been speaking all along. Just not in the way they'd planned him to belong. And that's when the quiet truth finally clicked. That his greatest act wasn't scripted or fixed. It was the courage to step back when silence was loud. To refuse applause built on bending and bowing. Because the system feeds on compliance and fear. On making examples so others stay clear. And his disappearance wasn't meant to be cruel. It was meant to be lesson, a warning, a rule. Yet lessons don't always land as designed. Sometimes they awaken the questioning mind. Fans began asking sharper, braver things. About contracts, control, and invisible strings. Why do voices vanish without explanation? Why does success require quiet submission? Why does talent threaten instead of inspire? When it burns too bright, when it climbs too higher? And through those questions, his presence returned. Not physically seen but spiritually earned. Because silence can echo across space and years. Stirring thought, awakening fears. So no, he wasn't erased. He was paused by design. Held between eras, between moment and time. And someday soon, when conditions align, the story will shift from silence to sign. Until then, remember this: when absence feels strange. When names disappear without visible change. Some stories aren't finished when they fade from view. They're simply waiting for the moment truth breaks through. And when it does, the